Yeah. All over. What's the choice of what job? We're not trying to be unfriendly at all. Organization, we're from all over. I'm actually from Montana. I heard about this when I was children of my own, and I thought it was horrible, and I drove all the way from Montana to never did it. Oh, well, we've been meeting the last couple of weeks. Well, that'd be a good idea to come out here and stand do things have to get before you do something? Okay. Yeah, we're not violent people. Okay, thanks. Okay. Do you have a license every activity that you want to engage in? Do they have to be?
You know she's got to be mad.
Before you start saying, no, I don't think this is a good idea. How long is it going to be before you finally resist?
Probably might have enough people call single block.
Yeah, they said their neighbors, they didn't even know she was a DA. They said that kind of concerns
the person that files a case because they're scared of the IRS in America, a place where there's not supposed to be any despotism or tyranny, or me, who stands up. See, I stand upon the law. I stand upon the law.
Slayer raining blood.
Some of these idiots, and even my friendly friends out there, who say, please, please be cautious, let this bill go through so they won't sue us. That's what they're saying. They're saying that behind the Bush administration, there are people who would actually use U.S. troops to shoot down people who
They're brand spanking new, bro.
Oh, yeah.
They're brand new. They probably got put up the same time they put the ones up at
That is reality.
Yeah.
And that's what some of these questions are reflecting. There are people in high places, including very high-ranking people in terms of their background. Who totally realize they like this stuff, but they won't fight.
Joey and Cruz coming out, get the no trespassing sign up.
We don't want to go into a death camp.
Hello, my name is Aaron Weiss, and I live in the town of Poughkeepsie. I'm a combat veteran of Iraq, and I'm also a law enforcement officer. They said that it took a lot of courage to pass the SAFE Act. Apparently, my definition of courage differs from yours. See, if it was really so courageous to bail and it took so much courage to pass it, then why was it done in the middle of the night when no one could see it or read it? That's not courage. That's a mafia-style sit-down and divvy up what's good for the bosses. Courage is taking the right and true course of action, not the politically expedient one. And anyone who's proud of this law must also be proud of the Patriot Act, the TSA, imprisoning Japanese citizens in World War II, since all these actions were spurred on by emotional fear and rammed through in the name of public safety. Another issue is the insistence of certain people to stand on the graves of dead children and challenge those that disagree to say it to the parents' faces. Well, I, for one, will pick up that gauntlet.
And then the nurse. It's a good corner here. It is.
Hey, what's nice is come Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. Monday's going to be a big day down there. There's a lot of people. Yep.
Yeah.
I might just walk down. Yeah.
And
if I need to pick you up, I can too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I only live at the top of the hill.
I'll try to remember to message you, and if I need to give somebody rides, I'll just stop and pick you up and take you down there.
Okay.
Yeah, we might do that. We might just do that because that's one of the reasons I've been coming out. Yeah. Is because I can't turn my head. I don't need a voltage regulator. Yep. And that fucking thing, it's got the Dodge electrical problem. Yeah. They suck. The motor's great. It's got a half a million miles on it, but I got a Dodge too. So. Yeah, so but the electrical sucks. Yeah. And sometimes I'm going 90 miles an hour. Sometimes I'm not. Yeah. Sometimes I'm at fucking 18 volts. Sometimes I'm not. But now I know because when the voltage regulator drops down and it's not going,
That's our main message today. You're not God.
get bad. And then if I undo it,
Kneel to the one God, repent of your crimes and your sins against humanity, and stop abusing the people and the children of this country.
Who age out, end up homeless for at least 5 years whenever they leave. Neglect is of parents. Now, presently there are 397,000 children in out-of-home care. That is care provided by Child Protective Services. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone aware of here is how aware of kind of the amount of abuse that is occurring to children in America, which is astronomically high, right? So we can be at a grocery store and we can see some parent just beating up his kid and no one really says a thing. So when you hear 397,000, you don't exactly feel surprised. Well, the thing is that 85% of all removals by Child Protective Services are not for physical or sexual abuse. So they're not for that. The vast majority of cases in Child Protective Services are for something called neglect. The vast majority of these cases regarding neglect is of parents using or admitting to using marijuana or drugs in general.
we're here for a 13-year-old girl.
So what also has to be kept in mind is what Child Protective Services considers care. And I came across some rather startling statistics in regards to foster care. So foster children are 7 to 8 times more likely to be physically, sexually, or emotionally abused than children in normal households. When you keep in mind that 85% of those removals were for not that kind of abuse, that's where it becomes just really astonishingly awful. Now, 50% of all foster children who age out end up homeless for at least 5 years whenever they leave the foster home. The vast majority of the homeless in America were at one point foster children. They are 3 times more likely to be put on psychotropic drugs than children in similar financial situations due to the financial incentives provided to you by the state. They're more likely to get post-traumatic stress disorder than veterans of war and less likely to recover from it. And they are 6 times more likely to die than if they stayed in an abusive household. So, going by the statistics, obviously libertarians should be talking about this particular subject. We're talking about police abuse, we're talking about military abuse, we're talking about the Federal Reserve. Well, when you think of the tyrannical actions of this agency who supposedly has the best interests of children in mind, you start to kind of understand why I believe it's so important to discuss these topics, mainly because CPS has time and time again gone after people who state that they're marijuana activists, people who homeschool their children, people who are against vaccinations, right? This has happened a lot. In fact, in Austin, Texas, a marijuana activist there had his child taken for supposedly promoting marijuana use actively, and his child died in foster care in 2 weeks. So we have to be talking about this. So the thing about, in order to understand Child Protective Services, what we need to do is we need to understand the history of Child Protective Services and to see why it's ended up the way it is right now. And there's a legal term. It's called parens patriae, and it means that the government not only has the ability, but the obligation to look at the best interests of children in mind and those who are legally unfit to take care of themselves. Of course, that's a dictate by the state. Now, this started really taking hold in the late 1800s, early 1900s, mainly with the work of Francis Galton. Now, Galton was the cousin of Charles Darwin and was a promoter of the term social Darwinism, which had nothing to do with actual evolution and had to do with pseudoscience.
No, Christine's in the house.
A big part of this is
gray hair sticking out everywhere.
Progressivism, right? So for those who aren't
There's a guy
familiar
and
with
this
it, when
lady
we think
that
of
comes out
progressivism, we think
and helps
the
unload.
progress of humanity as a whole.
got gray
What he
frizzy
really meant
hair.
was the progress of the humans that he wanted to see
Maybe
prosper,
that's her husband.
which was Nordic
Why do you
white
think that is her
males.
husband?
He was very adamant that Negroes were savages
know
who
he
needed
drove
to be
and turned into
removed
my
from
direction
society
when I moved out of
unless
LA.
they end up
guy
marrying
in
white
the
people
SUV,
and destroy
her
the genetic
husband?
lineage,
That wasn't
right? A noted activist at the time who was part of the
This guy looks a lot more
child
frail than
rights
Marty. This guy
welfare
looks like the
campaign
husband
and
of the
progressivism as a whole was
frail and
Margaret
broken
Sanger.
down.
She, as many know,
Yeah,
started
he is.
Planned Parenthood.
No.
She stated in a letter in regards to Planned Parenthood to a friend, "We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population, and we can use the minister to prevent any kind of rebellious strike from occurring." She actually ended up a lot of ties with black churches who started promoting things like Planned Parenthood, so no one would assume certain things. Now, Francis Galton also promoted eugenics. Now, eugenics is a word that we normally associate with the Nazis, right, folks? But the thing is that they actually took their ideas from basically British Americans. Now, the eugenic agencies that were set up were funded directly by the Rockefellers and the Carnegie Foundation, as in the people who now fund NPR. And the thing is that all academics kind of agree with regards to eugenics. In fact, 367 colleges all promoted the Nordic race as being the strongest race, and the Negroes as something that needed to be dealt with. Mainly they needed to be dealt with because after the end of slavery, you suddenly had black people being allowed to own property. You also had a booming population due to lower infanticide rates due to medical technology and a free market. You also had an influx of immigrants. Now, I should be clear that they weren't just against black people, they were also against Irish people and a lot of southern whites that they codified as rednecks. So Galton, in order for him to be able to kind of state that if you had a high IQ, you're a better individual, even though he was physically handicapped, he set up an IQ test in order to justify sterilization. So on the IQ test, if you had a lower than an 80 IQ, you could be forcibly sterilized by the state. So they went into places like the South, and essentially, let me give you an example. Give it to me. Got 5 hours. Why don't they take on the trip? They give them nice details. If you know what it is,
They took pictures of them bringing their Coca-Cola in. Oh, yeah?
Now, this is where the child welfare comes in. So,
you got pictures of the lady?
Whoever that lady was that came out, yeah.
Can you show them to Kelly when she's done?
Yeah, is it her?
I don't know.
It was while I was videoing, so the picture quality might not be good.
And as a result, Native American populations have prevented being able to actually hold property, which is the tyrannical dictator. That's essentially.
I don't know if that's her, is it?
So what you're doing is you're preventing.
I'm not sure. I've never seen her before.
And if they saw that the woman had too many children, they would still use that.
Hey. Hey, ask John.
That's her, I can tell you. That's her.
That's her.
We want her home. That's all we want. Send her home. She right before the surgery, they get him to sign over the surgery. And his great charges 2 days after. Sick. This is not okay.
That's her.
It's her.
I was in the cut, dude.
Hey, Kelly. Show Kelly.
They keep freezing the. Gavin's videos froze. I went from 70 live viewers to 15. That's her. Where did you get that?
From over in the cut.
Oh, man, we gotta go over there.
We came out to get groceries. So I took a few snapshots, but they're back in the house. Doesn't look like a private road to me.
Huh?
Doesn't look like a private road.
No, it doesn't.
What's the signage have?
What? I don't know, but if it was a private road, it'd say private road.
Oh, yeah. It's not private. It's the old school road.
Well, you see the telephone pole and the light thing, all that thing. Always put that
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey.
Bro, I just got a picture of them going like this from inside, I think, with the video camera and going like this.
Yeah.
I swear. I can't tell. It's kind of grainy.
Have you been live or recording this whole time?
Most of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
People are asking. They say my feed keeps freezing, and they're just wondering if anybody wants to stay on live.
Well, I'm not live. I'm
recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just want to be recording.
Just in case I have to have them. If one goes dead or
They're recording it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey Kelly. Kelly. Check this picture out. It shows a lady in there on cell phone with her middle finger up.
Really?
Yeah.